Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a little while since that first drive video, and if you're wondering why we're starting today's video at the back of the car, that's because we're doing a fuel system overhaul. So let me backtrack. I did end up getting the exhaust finished up on the car, and it sounds awesome. I cannot wait to show you what it sounds like. But what that means is I can now drive it up and down the street without terrifying the neighborhood. And what I found was, as soon as I go to stomp on that gas pedal, the thing cuts out. And I believe it's due to fuel starvation. And as soon as I cracked open the door on this gas tank and had a look at the pump, I knew it was right. So I'm going to flash up a picture. Yeah, whoa, what the heck? I don't know. I've had way older cars than this. Never had a fuel tank look this bad. So for better or worse, this thing's got to come out, get cleaned, get treated, get taken care of. Got a good plan of attack for it. It's going to be a huge pain in the butt, but I think we'll manage, and it's worth it. It needs it. So if you hear that slight whine right now, I've got the fuel pump running, and I'm actually trying to empty out as much of the gasoline from the tank as possible. And to make that happen, all you got to do is pop the feed line off from the rail here, route a hose down into your jug, but don't make the mistake I did. If you're filming or running around doing other stuff, keep an eye on this jug because it'll fill up and it'll spill that gasoline all over your garage floor. I'm gonna get a new jug and we'll keep emptying out the tank. Alright, and now for the super fun, really pain in the butt job of dropping this fuel tank. Big pro tip, under these old cars there's a ton of rust, and the second you get underneath, a piece of it's going to fall in your eye. So always make sure you got these safety glasses on. They make it a little bit tougher to see, but it's really hard to see when there's specks of rust in your eyeball. Okay, it's out. So, you might be asking yourself, why drop the tank? Well, I'm happy to show you. You saw the fuel pump already, and the reason why the fuel pump would get in that condition in the first place is because there's rust in the tank. And that happens from a number of different things. Basically, if the car sits for a while, the water and the alcohol separate in the gas, and just for a number of reasons, old tanks do this. So I'm going to show you real quick inside if I can. So that's the deal. As you can see, it is beyond gross in there. And there's a number of different ways to clean this out. But for now, I'm just happy that the tank is down and I've got easy access to go ahead and start cleaning out all that gunk.
One eternity later.
Okay, wow. It feels like an eternity. It's probably been a couple weeks, but I needed that time to address the state of affairs in this fuel tank. I cannot begin to tell you guys how bad it was and how disgusting it was. Truthfully, it's embarrassing that I didn't see it before, didn't notice it before. It's probably been the source of a lot of different headaches with this project overall. And you know, whatever, that's done and done, but I had to do something about this tank. And there were a couple of different options. Option 1, rescue this tank. Option 2, find another tank. Option 3, switch into a fuel cell. And each one of those options had different pros and cons, but at least with the first one, I didn't really have much to lose, so that's where we began. I just realized that I never showed you how bad it was. So let me take a minute here to just paint the picture of what's going on, or what was going on in this fuel tank. This is what I dug out of that gas tank. Try not to breathe it in. That is 5 or 6 handfuls of straight rust. I've never, in all my years of shitty old cars, I've never seen anything like this. Ugh, I don't even want to be around it. Alright, so now that you know how bad it was, you knew like something had to be done, And what I chose to do was, again, see if I could rescue this tank. Little to lose. It was either going in the dumpster or I was going to be able to save it. How do you do such a thing? Eastwood makes a tank restoration kit. It comes with some chemicals to help clean out the tank. You pick up muriatic acid to convert any of the rust, and then it includes some sealer which you pour in after it's all said and done, and that'll coat and seal the tank so that it doesn't rust again. Real big thanks to Matt at Eastwood. They're not supporting this video at all, but they just make great products, and he always helps out, especially with a lot of my projects. So thanks guys, very much appreciated. So what's involved in that? Well, it's already done. I didn't film because honestly, I was scared the camera was gonna melt. These chemicals are really, really nasty stuff. So you absolutely need a respirator, safety goggles, the whole 9 yards. Thinking back now, I was in the backyard, all like chem labbed up, and 100% no doubt my neighbors think I'm cooking meth now.
Put the corn up into the sky. I take you one by one. Come on and take me on.
So, where does that leave us? Right now, tank is good to go. I picked up a new fuel pump. Just gotta pop that in. And just to be safe, I've got a new fuel filter as well. I'm not sure what made it through, and if that fuel filter looks half as bad as the fuel pump sock that we pulled out, then it's absolutely gotta go. So I picked up a new one of these, and now just the race is on because I am registered for my first drift event. It is this upcoming weekend, so next weekend, and obviously we can't go driving or drifting or anything in this state, so got to get this fuel tank put back together, get the new pump in there, get the new fuel filter set up, get this tank back in the car, couple test runs, and hopefully get the car aligned, and that'll be that. Alright, so while I'm under here, something else I want to do is replace these old rubber fuel lines. They're probably as old as the car is, and this one's actually fraying a little bit. So this is the perfect time to do it. And I've got some brand new fuel hose, and FYI, in case you're wanting to do the same thing, it's 5/16. Make sure it's fuel injection hose for the right pressure rating. Okay, so that's the last time I ever want to do that. I guess next is just reconnect everything and then go drink some more iced tea. Okay, so last step here is replacing the fuel filter / regulator. And if you're new to LS swaps or just this area in general, the fuel on a LS runs a returnless system. So it only has one fuel line going in. Most cars have an in and an out that allows the excess fuel to go back to the tank. This one still allows excess fuel to go back to the tank, but it happens all here in the filter / regulator. So the fuel comes in and it goes through the filter into the engine, and what this does is it also regulates the fuel pressure so any excess fuel can dump back to the tank. So it's a really nice unit. It's called a Corvette regulator filter because it comes out of a Corvette. They're probably about 30-40 bucks a piece, and it does a great job at solving when you're trying to get a returnless setup in your car that normally had a return line. Alright, and now the moment of truth. I've got the new fuel filter in, I've got the new fuel pump in, everything's wired up, everything's tightened. I threw a couple gallons in the tank, let's see if it flows. Okay, so that's right on the money. We want to be a little bit shy of 60 there, and it looks like we're holding probably around 55, which I think is totally normal. Once the engine's running with the alternator going a little bit extra voltage, I think that'll pick up right to our target 58. Okay, well I think that about does it. All out of time, but I was able to get the fuel system put back together, and we did our tests. Everything's working properly. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to fire it up and go for a test drive, but that'll be next time. So thank you so much for watching. Really looking forward to the next couple episodes here. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like, share, do all the rest, and we will see you next time.
All we are is dust in the wind, dust in the wind.